Alrighty, Joe. We are live in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey. No chill, Prano.
Happy holidays, Andy Ruther.
That's right.
Merry Christmas, and God bless us, everyone.
I don't think you can say Merry Christmas anymore.
You can't?
I saw some headline that said some celebrity in trouble for saying Merry Christmas.
Really? Merry Xmas? Merry canceled miss.
Dude, this is so funny. But you know what? Here's what I want to
Dude,
say.
I told you. I mean, I think we talked about it on the show already. I saw the thing about Chris Pratt having to apologize for posing at the gym with a water bottle.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's so ridiculous.
Well, by the way, I like Chris Pratt, but that's a total cuck move.
Yeah.
You got cucked by 3 people.
Yeah.
I hung out with some dirtballs on Thursday night.
You hung out with Kyle Aronofsky.
Jesus.
Hey,
I consider
Tug.
Aaron a dirtball. Tug. But Jesus said something that I liked. He's like, dude, all this shit that like you see, I don't experience any of that in my world. Where I live, where I work.
Right.
It's not real world. Which is true, and I think we have to always keep that in perspective. Like, dude, I drive a truck. You know, where I live, this isn't real world.
Right.
And I told him, I said, for most of us, it's not real world.
Yeah, but also it's again that's why like people always go like, oh yeah, cancel like the whole Trumpers thing. Like, we're sick and tired of hearing about all your, oh, you're triggered, you're a snowflake or whatever. It's like, but it goes the other way too.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in the Midwest, yeah, no one's like, hey man, don't say that. Like, be careful what you say. But they're also like, we have to cancel Colin Kaepernick immediately. He needs to be canceled.
But it's very few in between both sides.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the fringe, as people always say.
I'm the opposite of Trump. I think there are bad people on both sides. Bad people on both sides.
We're doing this mid-Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
for people who are listening to the audio.
Yeah. Mid-Sunday afternoon. The afternoon football games are on as we speak. We have.
Oh, no!
We have
Fumble!
We have Denver, Detroit on your top screen here, where we usually have a rundown. You're yelling fumble because you have the Denver Broncos -7.
Not looking good.
And there's potential of looks like he's in.
Yeah, he's in.
Detroit going up 4 here in the third quarter.
I'm getting destroyed this week.
I'm not gonna jinx the jinx, so I don't want to talk about it yet. But we'll get to that, perhaps on next episode. Well, I'm gonna let these games play out before I start making any bold claims or even talking about how you or I have done this week. But let's put it this way: you didn't do well on the first in the morning games. You went. What'd you go? 1-5 versus me.
The only one I got was the Dolphins.
Which took overtime.
They blew a 35-12 lead.
In the Burrow Bowl.
And that's the last time I picked Baker Mayfield. Dear God.
That was bad. I had the Browns too, and I made a late night switcheroo the other night. I put it through. I put twerks on the text to try to make sure everybody was on the level. I said I did a little math. I'm down 6. I only had 6 different games from you. So just to get even, I would have had to go 6-0, which we all know is not going to happen. Even like the biggest choke or the biggest clutch job by anybody, no one goes. We're not going 6-0 on our different picks. So I was like, I just need more different games. So I took 2 others for people who listen to the show on Thursday. I added this. I took this Eagles game and I took that Browns Cleveland game. Browns Baltimore.
Did you watch any of that?
I did. I watched a lot of it.
Did you see that? Now they ended up scoring, but did you see again? I mean, we just got to talk about Freddie Kitchens. Did you see the play calling again? First and goal.
Yeah.
And the only reason they But they had 5 chances because
Yeah.
there ended up being a face mask.
Yes.
But just the plays.
Debacle. Yeah, it's bad. And again, the Browns, very talented in terms of just personnel.
It's coaching, man.
It's coaching, and so Kitchen's gone after this year. They're already saying that, right? There's been a lot of talk about things that are supposed to happen or not supposed to happen so far.
You can't keep him. If you watch that game where basically the Browns dominate, now not score-wise, but they were up 6-0 through 1 3/4.
Yeah.
Like 1 3/4 of the second quarter.
More than that. I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 12 seconds.
So they basically dominate the whole first
Entire
half.
First half. And they go down 14. They go into the halftime 14-6. And that was when I was like, I got this one.
Yeah, I knew it too. Just a complete collapse. And that comes from the top. That's coaching. And then obviously Odell was getting into it with Kitchens.
Yeah.
Baker's regress.
Which was a whole thing. Odell was getting into Kitchens right after he scored a touchdown?
Yeah, it was over the 2-point conversion.
Oh, okay.
Which the guy just dropped it, by the way, on the Browns.
Yeah.
They should have had that 2-point conversion. But the Browns dropped to 6-9.
So Browns got to fire Kitchens, you feel like.
100%.
I mean, I think pretty much everybody agrees on that.
100%.
And just hire a coach who has some sort of experience whatsoever.
Especially with young, you have a young,
I don't
talented
think it's Mike
group.
McCarthy, but
But a guy who can get them in line a little.
yeah.
You don't have to be the hard-ass Harbaugh or Coughlin, but you need a coach who can at least get guys to listen, a coach who has experience, a coach who's won. Because they have the talent. Think about that. Like, let's stop for a second. Outside of Baltimore, who's playing the best football of anybody in the NFL, and they have been for a while, right? Outside of them, that division would have totally been up for a wild card spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
If you had a competent coach.
the Steelers win next week, they could potentially be a wild card.
Yeah.
And we've talked like the Steelers. Great example. Like they've had 2 disastrous quarterbacks going back and forth throughout the year, going back and forth multiple times in this game, and they're on the verge of it. Like the idea that you have Baker Mayfield, who set a rookie, touchdowns record or whatever, Odell, Landry, the talent you have on defense, the fact that you're not at least competing for a wild card spot, which you could say they weren't eliminated till today, but a lot had to go right today. To me, you're not competing for a spot in the playoffs unless you're still technically alive in going into Week 17.
Yeah.
Technically alive in Week 16, which they barely were today.
Sure.
They needed everybody to lose.
Yeah, I'm 100% for firing Freddie Kitchens.
And that was the big news, that the Browns might do it right. They've seen enough from Freddie Kitchens, pull the trigger early. The other news yesterday was that the Tampa Bay Bucks were keeping Winston, which was hilarious. Ian Rappaport announces it 5 minutes before the game starts, which means 6.5 minutes before Jameis throws his pick 6 to open the game. I mean, we're obviously on the forefront of the Jameis Winston, conspiracy theory and talking points. We've talked Jameis Winston more than anybody that lives outside of Tampa Bay. But come on.
It's just these people who continue to defend a man. We saw it yesterday. In a way, the NFL Network, they're doing that shit too. They show that stat. Jameis is now second in the history of the NFL for most passing yards through his first 5 seasons.
But take away. You and I talked about this last night when we went out to dinner. Take away. Jameis had a pretty good game, right? Like if you take away his 4 interceptions. I know, but hold on. I'm saying stats wise. Besides that, what did he do? He's over 300 yards, has a couple touchdowns, right? Think about any other position in football if they have a good game besides turning the ball over 4 times. Like if Saquon Barkley had the game he had for the Giants today, 190 rushing yards, 80 receiving yards, a couple touchdowns. They lose in overtime on a field goal and he fumbles 4 times. you say the game's 100% on Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You would say that 100%.
Sure.
If in the second half of this Cardinals-Seattle game, Seattle comes back because Larry Fitzgerald fumbles 4 times while going for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, it's 100% on his fault. You lose by 3 points, and one single player on your team, forget the position, forget what else he did, gave the other team the ball 4 times, including one that was a touchdown. It's embarrassing to be the person that defends Jameis Winston at this point.
It is. It truly is embarrassing. And again,
it's so embarrassing. If you were to do it, you would do it anonymously and under no circumstances ever let anybody know your name or face.
Yeah.
Which is the way that you should do that.
Yeah. I just hate how they post that number that he's second all time in most passing yards through his first 5 seasons. Number 1 was Peyton Manning. Number 2 was Jameis. Number 3 was, I believe, Dan Marino. And number 4 was Andrew Luck. Because, again, of those 4 guys, 3 were taken number 1 overall.
Yeah.
Manning, Luck, and Winston. And 2 of those 3, both Manning and Luck, instantly turned around their bad teams. Jameis has never won more than 9 games. End of story. He doesn't turn the team around.
He turns the ball over.
But I'll be curious to see what they do, because at this point, if you are Tampa Bay, unless you've signed a contract with the GM and you have some crazy conspiracy, how do you keep him around? Like my thing is, what is the difference between year 5 and year 6?
Well, I guess the question is, if you're drafting in a position where you went 8-8, are you getting a quarterback that makes a difference? Are you going out and signing somebody? And if you are, who are you signing? Or do you do, do you just do the Kirk Cousins with the Redskins tag?
Yeah.
You franchise tag him. But in the end, look at how that worked out with the Redskins and Kirk Cousins. Like, yeah, they never made a commitment to him. But for 3 years, did they do it 3 years in a row or 2 years in a row?
At least 2.
It was at least 2. I think it was 3. However many years they did in a row, they paid Kirk Cousins top 5 quarterback numbers.
Yeah.
Which the Vikings have obviously done now, and we'll see if that works out. It didn't work out for them in year 1, that's for sure.
I know. But at the end of the day, I don't take everything away from what we've said. Can you recall, because I can't off the top of my head, can you recall a quarterback who was so turnover prone for 5 whole seasons and then, quote unquote, figured it out?
But also,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also you got to consider the thing that we talked about last game with the phone call about Eli Manning versus Jameis Winston, which is the idea that you're comparing his yardage numbers and his completion numbers and his turnover numbers to guys who, like Peyton Manning, who were doing it 20 years ago, when the idea of Peyton Manning coming into the league and being super turnover prone, and then not turnover prone, but throwing a lot of interceptions because he's throwing, a terrible team into games. And it's just going down and going down and going down to the point where you get to him playing the more modern style of quarterback, and Peyton Manning's throwing for 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It's just a totally different game now. So even comparing numbers to 20 years ago Peyton Manning, if you're in that same realm with you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. It was an entertaining game. It was a wild game. There were so many damn turnovers to watch. I thought all of yesterday's games, all of Saturday's games were good to watch.
Yesterday, Rich Eisen tweeted this, and I agree. He said, besides the Giants-Patriots game that the NFL Network held when the Patriots were going for 16-0, this was the biggest day in the history of the NFL Network, because the NFL Network has 3 games in a row on a Saturday in Week 16, all of them, I guess, with some sort of playoff implications, right? The Texans win the division in Game 1. The Niners, huge in the late game.
Yeah.
I'm totally blanking on the game in between. Why? Oh,
Bills.
Patriots, yeah, which also, again, huge playoff implications for the AFC East for both of those teams.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I was really rooting, obviously, because I picked them, the Bills. Josh Allen made some – Josh Allen was – it was interesting watching him yesterday. He made some really great, tough, like dropping in passes, but then he missed some guys high.
The criticism on Josh Allen and
He's tough though. The fourth down he got,
yeah.
where then he leaped.
Yeah. The criticism on Josh Allen, and I liked Josh Allen coming out of college because I didn't get to watch any of his games live, but obviously everything you saw from him in terms of his arm strength, his running ability, stuff, and I like the small school guy, but is that he's never been accurate on the level that we look for in accuracy now. If Josh Allen had come out, like we saying 20 years ago, no one's even concerned that he completed 58% of his passes in college or 55 or whatever it was, as opposed to what now you look at the great college quarterback. I mean, Burrows completes 75% of his passes or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do, obviously, when you're in a small school and you play a couple games a year against big competition. But he's never been accurate. And in the modern game, accuracy so important. But you can't hate on what he's doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it seems like he's a good fit for that team. And I'd also even say that city.
Yeah.
Like he fits that mold. And I like it.
If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, I mean, they're going to be going on the road to somebody, but they're going to give somebody a scare, especially depending on how the matchups play out.
Oh, yeah. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you got to feel good about the future.
Yeah.
Brady's 43 going on 44. You have a young team. You have a deep. The thing that people always got to remember, and you know how much I love Dion, and Dion says it all the time. And guys, as we head into the playoffs, remember this. Defenses travel. Offenses don't. So if you have a team with a good defense, it doesn't matter that you're playing on the road.
Yeah.
Offense is a lot tougher to travel and play as well on the road.
I got to say, you've always been a Dion slurper.
I love Dion.
And I love Dion, too, and I've always loved Dion. But yesterday, because I don't do NFL, like you do NFL Network, pregame, postgame, all that stuff. I certainly don't do postgame, and honestly, most of the time, I don't do a ton of pregame. But having Dion all day in some fashion yesterday, I think Dion is a guy who it always seems like Dion just agrees with me, and that makes me so happy.
Well, here's the thing I like about Dion. Dion's not a hot take guy.
Right.
So all year, even when the Patriots were stumbling, I respected him continuing to say, they're the champs. They've been doing this 16 years. You know what I'm saying? Even guys like me who start to waver a little, he's saying, talk to me playoffs.
Yeah. And
he doesn't just throw a team under the bus or a player that he vouches for. So, yeah, I think he's great. Again, you know me. I love the NFL Network in general, and I thought there were some good squads yesterday announcing games. And I loved how now they're matching up analysts from different networks.
Yeah.
Like they have Tirico, who's NBC, calling the game with Kurt Warner, who is obviously NFL Network. Then you had the last game, it was Kevin Burkhardt and Charles, what's his name? I forget his name, but they're Fox, Charles Davis, and they called the 49ers Rams game. And I want to talk about that. I don't know at this point who I like from the NFC because I just see holes in everybody defensively.
The Cowboys, Sean.
I'm not. You keep saying that. Look, the Cowboys are currently playing right now. They're currently losing. But I'm saying the Seahawks have serious holes in their defense. The 49ers, who Dion loves, have been porous defensively going on 6 weeks now. The Saints had a ton of sacks today. I believe they had 6 or 7 sacks. But even the Saints today, they give up a lot of big plays.
Well, the Saints, I think everybody agrees, need that home field.
100%.
I'm just like, I know every team is different, and, they run the ball more than they ever did. And I like the Saints, what they've been able to do this year, obviously, with Breeze being out.
Yeah.
And how well they played when Breeze was out, that showed me something about this Saints team. And I wasn't a Saints believer going into the season. I'm sure in our recap of the year, I think I probably picked somebody else to win the division. But
You didn't. I think you had them in the NFC. I had them in the NFC Championship.
okay,
I think you did too. I had them in the Cowboys.
yeah. Obviously, I've got the Packers and the Chiefs in my preseason Super Bowl prediction. But I do like the Saints, but the Saints are going to like it or not. Drew Brees is 1-5 on the road outside of the dome in the playoffs.
I agree.
1-5.
And even today's slow start.
Yeah. So you're not going to want to go on the road.
Yeah.
If you're the New Orleans Saints, and you can talk about how this team is different all you want, but you just don't want to do it.
I agree.
I know the Niners have been suspect the last couple weeks, but at the same time, just so much talent on the defensive line. That's going to be a thing that, coming after guys. Garoppolo, ton of sacks yesterday. They were getting after Garoppolo. Obviously, they've got a lot of injuries as well, the Niners do. And then, like you said, you don't know. Watch out for the Packers getting hot, man. I mean, I think Monday will be a big test to see exactly where they're at, but they just smell to me like that team is like, every year, it's that team that gets hot, that team no one's talking about. I feel like Aaron Rodgers, we always talk about everybody's revenge game. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has his revenge playoff run in him at some point. He's like, I have been fucking doing everything I can without coming out and saying it at a press conference for years. Give me anybody but Mike McCarthy. I think he wants to prove that.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. Even the Patriots yesterday, not that they dominated. They were, that was a good back and forth game. But even watching that game, I'm thinking, are they figuring it out just late in the season?
Yeah.
Obviously, they ran the ball a lot yesterday, and that's what they have to do. But Brady had a good game yesterday, his best game in weeks. It's going to be interesting because this year, I don't know if you caught this during the Ravens game. The Ravens have made won 2 Super Bowls in the last 20 years. They've never had home field advantage. Both those years, they had to play wild card games.
Yeah.
They never even had a bye.
Yeah.
This will be the first time ever the playoffs have to go through Baltimore from the AFC. So it'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I mean, Baltimore just continues to look great. And, like, what team do you like going into Baltimore? What team do you give the best chance? You're still just Patriots because of coaching and because they've probably filmed Lamar Jackson getting up in the morning and putting on his shoes? Like, the guy who lives inside Lamar Jackson's closet, who's built himself into the wall like fucking like Clive Owen in fucking Inside Man. There's just like a guy who's painted to look like clothes on a hanger.
Hey, Johnny, we're going to need you to do your job this week, and we're going to have to turn you into an actual fucking closet.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go live in Lamar's apartment down near.
He's like, what is this suit? It's like, well, these are all the back half of Air Force Ones, so you will just be able to stand in his closet and replace these sneakers and just watch what he does all day, every day.
Johnny, what are the 3 words that we know here under the Patriots? Do your job. Just do it.
You look at the AFC. I know, and this obviously is not planned, but the Chiefs too. My other Super Bowl pick is like, God, watch out for. I feel like everybody's just sleeping on the team that was nearly beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game last year, the reigning MVP.
No, I agree.
Who's been hobbled.
I agree. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who can just stop the Ravens. Because nobody's figured it out really.
Right.
How to stop them.
Yeah. I think if you're talking about a team like the Chiefs, maybe don't figure out how to stop them, but just
win in a shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we have some other big dirty sports NFL announcement news I'd like to say. I have bought 2 seat licenses for next year's Los Angeles Chargers in the new SoFi Stadium.
Which, first of all, congratulations on being a season ticket holder. That's a big step in life. I feel like that's adulting.
It is.
But also, you're sort of going full Tug Coker here with the NFL. You are now a Rams, Chargers, Seahawks, Bengals fan?
Well, look, I wouldn't even call myself a Chargers fan.
Right.
I think this stadium is going to be so state of the art, and the tickets were so cheap. Let me explain it to everybody. The exact same tickets for the Rams. So I got basically the cheapest seats.
Right.
I'm 10 rows up from the top, but good location.
But not the top. You're in the 400 section, correct?
I'm in the last section.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I thought you were showing us 400.
I was trying to. Those tickets sold out.
Ah.
So I'm in the top. I'm in like row 15. There's like 25 rows. But
So you're in the 500s.
Yeah, I'm in the 500s. But the tickets were so cheap. The seat license was $100 per ticket. That's a one-time fee that you pay, $100. The exact same seat license for the Rams was $4,000 a ticket.
That's crazy.
So,
especially when you consider, I mean, obviously I know that the Rams have fans already and the Chargers don't. But you would think that's such a gap. Like, the Rams have fans because they've been good and because they're returning.
yeah.
And because they haven't pissed off their entire fan base. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, you put the tweet out today, like, the Rams stock is dropping.
Yeah.
And obviously the Chargers stock has dropped this year as compared to last year. But how quickly these things turn around. You almost want to fall faster so that you can rise up again.
I agree. So the difference in ticket prices, this is wild to me. For 2 season tickets on my exact same seats, for the Chargers, the total after all the bullshit fees and the seat license will be $1,600 and I believe $50. Those 2 exact same seats for the Rams would be $10,000.
It's crazy.
So more than 5 times the value. And I look at it from this perspective. I can sell tickets. And it's crazy. So people understand the situation here. I told everybody to read that article. The Rams and the Chargers are not selling their own season tickets. This is wild. Jerry Jones, and it's in that great ESPN article, Jerry Jones' company, which is called Legends, is responsible for selling.
Not Legends. It's important to know that it's pronounced Legends because it's Jerry Jones. He will not be brought into the Legends club.
So Legends is the company that's selling the season tickets. So I go down to this nice state-of-the-art office. It's very Jerry Jones-esque, I would say, as far as the presentation. And that's who my contract is with, because you have to sign a contract when you get a seat license. So basically, the crazy thing is, and I explained this to Joe last night when we had dinner, they're not even trying to lure quote-unquote new fans. In my opinion, the pitch is, hey, you're a big sports guy? You got a podcast? Cool. Get season tickets. You can sell a bunch of tickets. You can go to a couple games, maybe break even. So, in a way, both the Chargers and the Rams, they're outsourcing their season tickets to a guy who owns a different team. The whole situation's kind of wild.
Yeah. I know who's making money on it for sure is Jerry Jones somehow.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
Because he has nothing to lose.
Right.
He's not building the stadium. He's not fronting the $6 billion that Stan Kroenke of the Rams is. So, at the end of the day, it's kind of a win-win for Jerry Jones. But the whole situation is kind of funny. And by the way, shout out to Shabelli. Shaboring. I got a wayside. I thought of Shabelli. I wish all the dirtballs could have been there. He offered me. He said, which side do you want to get the tickets, home or away? And I thought, only in L.A.
Right. Well, typically, I should say, the one thing is the away side is usually in the sun, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I mean, in Southern California, it's not like it's going to get hot. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to be at a fucking game in L.A. and be like, I am sweltering. At least not in Inglewood, maybe in Pasadena or something like that. So if you're talking about, you're in New York or Chicago or something like that in early September, it's going to be hot or cold. I think you got the sunny side, so that's nice. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. The Giants, for example, are on the sunny side at home, but typically the away side is the sunny side.
Well, and also this stadium is so unique. It'll have the glass top. And I was telling Prano.
Right. Also, what am I talking about? It's inside.
Yeah.
I guess, glass. So
But the Final Four, which is already scheduled to be out here, is crazy. That's why they did that. They wanted to enclose it so they could do basketball. I think it's going to be pretty amazing when the Final Four comes here. You're going to be inside but also outside. So you could be watching the game, and then this is what I said, and it probably sounded so corny.
like Biodome.
You could be watching the game and then looking up at the stars.
I mean, you're in LA. You don't see many stars, especially over there by the airport. But it's fine.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You could see the moon.
But I know what you're saying.
While a guy hits a 3.
I know what you're saying. If you're at Taylor Swift this summer, while Taylor Swift's playing, you can look up at the moon.
Are you going?
No.
That's the for people who don't know, that is the first ever event at the new stadium. It will be Taylor Swift's concert in June, I believe.
July. Yeah. It's like late July.
Now, Joe, if I was going to go to Taylor Swift, where would I get those tickets?
SeatGeek.
You didn't even hesitate.
No, because I've looked at the tickets, not for myself, obviously, but as a potential gift. And I got to say, I looked at the original site, which I won't even say where they're available originally, and I looked on the secondary market. There's already people giving cut rate prices on SeatGeek.
Yeah.
Now, what I can say, unfortunately, usually on SeatGeek, my favorite thing is being able to see the view from your seats. They don't know what the view is going to look like yet because the stadium's not even done, but they're already available on SeatGeek.
That's right, guys. So if you want to go to Taylor Swift or any other concert or any sports event, get those tickets on SeatGeek. SeatGeek will even give you $10 off on your first SeatGeek purchase. All you need to do is use our promo code. So download the SeatGeek app today and use promo code DIRTY for $10 off on your first purchase. That's promo code DIRTY for $10 off on your first purchase. And if you've already used it, give it to somebody else. Use that SeatGeek promo code. Spread the SeatGeek promo code to all your relatives.
Spread that SeatGeek holiday cheer.
That's right. So send me a screenshot, and I'll send you some koozies. So we are mid-third quarter now. It's 10-6 Eagles still. And what I would call an ugly, classic Eagles-Cowboys ugly football game.
Yeah. I have a buddy who's an Eagles fan, and he was like, here's my prediction for the game. And I was like, my prediction is a 0-0 tie just to, like, max out the ineptitude of the NFC East, which, by the way, this 10-6 game mid-third quarter, it's basically that.
Yeah. I know. We were hoping that the Bengals-Dolphins game ended in a tie because that would have been fitting.
Yeah. It would have been fitting, and it would have been nice for me to get that +1.
You got Fitz.
I know. I got Fitz. Trust me. Dude, I thought about that while I was making my picks. I was like, I have to have different picks this week. But Ruther went with the Fitzmagic because you're a converted Fitzmagic fan at this point.
Well, here's what I am.
You've started to appreciate the Fitzmagic a little bit more. I mean, how long does the guy have to do it for?
Maybe the first 8 years of his career.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. By the way, I saw in the YouTube comment section, people were concerned that we had made up from last episode.
Oh, hey, look, this is, we're not Kevin Garnett and the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happens on the court stays on the court.
Yeah.
And also, I think, like is often the case in many relationships, I think more often than not, heated arguments are due less to difference of opinion and more to do with like people arguing completely different things, which is honestly what I think we ended up doing.
And a bottle of wine.
Yeah, but that's just what makes me take it to the next level of anger. But also, I just honestly think, because people last episode going like tweeting at me and being like, Eli versus Russ again, and it's like it's never one single time been Eli versus Russ. I'm honestly not in my entire life ever compared those two guys. It's just more how you judge your quarterbacks, which in the end I think you and I do in completely different ways, and a lot of people do, I guess, in completely different ways. And honestly, people just seem to miss that a lot of times. It's honestly kind of, and I hate to say this, but This is the same thing that I'm dealing with Sam Tripoli in basketball. Sam Tripoli, for some reason, thinks like I'm rooting against his Clippers. I don't give a fucking like. I go to more Clippers games than Sam Tripoli does. Last year, I was a Gallinari Clippers fan. I have said Jerry West is undefeated. The only argument here is you hate the Lakers because you're a Clippers fan, and you hate LeBron James because you don't understand basketball, and therefore you've pitted me as somehow your opponent on everything. It's like Tripoli. I don't even give a shit about the Clippers.
By the way, speaking of Russ, they're down 20-7 now.
Yeah.
Do the Seahawks win that game? Third quarter.
I mean, I wouldn't bet on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Russ is the comeback king, and they've played a lot of close games, but just seems like that Cardinals team wants to play spoiler.
Which then
by the way, we have to, we take our L's where we'll take them. We got to take our L on Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh yeah,
he's been way better in year one than either of us thought.
Way better, and also Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
If you watch Cardinals games, man, he knows how to get rid of the ball, and he also, from what I've seen, doesn't take the terrible hits.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's very mobile, and he's really good on moving around. But from what I've seen, sorry, I'm getting my train of thought. I'm sitting here watching this stupid. This is what happens when you get the
stupid Broncos Lions game.
Yeah, and you said something I want to address when we're watching the Broncos. Just stick with these jerseys.
Yeah, and these helmets too.
Oh, the
old
helmets.
D with the horse. Like, I mean, every single team in sports at this point has gone back because the modernization just like never worked.
Yeah,
like going like, oh, we're gonna modernize the thing. It's like some of them work and some of them don't. It's like I get that the Broncos won 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, I guess, in the other uniforms, but these ones are just so much better.
Wow, look at that pass on Dak. Wide open Amari Cooper sitting in the hole. You got to hit that.
And by the way, I got to take my L on the Colts and Brissett too. I know I said 6 wins. They got their 7th today.
He's now 7-6 games he started. My guy.
Yeah.
He's not my guy. Tug actually had a bet on that. If they win 8 games, he cashes out.
He bet what? They're over on
7.5.
After Luck went out?
Yeah. So they cash out if that happens. But yeah. I'm again so stoked about where we're headed because like we said, I just think there's a lot of questions on a lot of these teams come playoff time. And go Phillip Lindsay, you motherfucker. Love it.
It's killer.
Is he still living in his parents' basement?
I don't know.
Talk about a likable guy.
Yeah.
Gotta love this guy. The hair, the look, living in mom's basement. By the way, Prano and I, speaking of living in mom's basement, bro, Patriots fans, tap the brakes a little. Especially when you're 14 living in Canada.
Have you ever seen anything like it? In all of our...
What we saw today?
No, just in general, over the years, does anybody match, like, the anger,
anger's the big
hatred,
anger's the big word,
the like blatant homerism? No, it's unmatched through the years.
Yeah.
And also, like we said last time, it's now to the point you can argue it all you want and you can be a homer all you want. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Tom Brady or if you're Bill Belichick. I will say you've been cheating the whole time. You've been cheating the whole time. The NFL caught you again. You've been cheating. The whole run has an asterisk. Sorry.
Yeah.
It does. It just plain does. You can call us haters. You can call us whatever. But it's also just being reasonable. You got caught cheating again. You want to say we got caught with Spygate and then Deflategate was bullshit. Fine. But then when you got caught this time, no. Now it's all back.
Well, I don't even want to go there. It's just we had one of the wildest exchanges on Instagram. And it was funny because Prano hopped in. I was doing it. I was just like, this is unheard of. a Pats fan was angry at an Instagram post and hopped into our DMs.
But wouldn't you guess that we've blocked more Pats fans than anything?
Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't you say that they're like?
Which I don't get because you've won 6 titles. Like, I'd be happy.
But the thing about Pats fans is they're angry about everything. Like, there's video footage of Robert Kraft getting a hand job, and they're like, he didn't have anything to do with it. Like, all they do is argue shit that's like blatantly like the Julian Edelman thing that you posted yesterday. He
Blatantly does a
blatantly picked a guy.
He goes right for the
faked dead.
Yeah.
The flag comes out. He pops up. He's fine.
But everyone's claiming, because he went in concussion protocol.
Oh, so he fucked up his pick and got himself hurt?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah. But he was trying to cheat.
I mean that play, and I know everybody does the pick, and the Patriots do it more than probably anybody. But that was a wild play that I saw. I've never seen it so blatantly, where I'm glad that I posted it. It was crazy because Julian Edelman blatantly is not running a route.
Right.
He's going straight for the DB on the Bills.
And then he makes it like he didn't see that guy coming. That's why he's hit and he's down.
And then the ref literally threw the flag in his face, and he woke up. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I just tap the brakes, guys, with the anger.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like, why? You know what it is? It's because they know they're wrong and they know they're guilty.
Exactly.
If they believed their arguments of like, you're a hater, you would just literally – that's what you would just say at home.
Yeah. And speaking of haters, I want to divert this conversation to the NFL 100 and just how ridiculous this has turned into. Because Terrell Owens was left off the NFL 100's all-time team and left off the top 10 all-time wide receivers.
Which is annoying on multiple levels. I know all of these top 10s at every position or whatever it is have sort of come under fire because they're including, Ham Fist Johnson and fucking,
let me read the list.
Tim Longfellow.
According to the NFL 100 in the top 10 all-time receivers, Lance Allworth, Raymond Berry, Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, Elroy Hirsch. That sounds like a financial institution.
Right.
Don Hudson, Steve Largent. By the way, Steve Largent, all his records, when he retired, he was top. He's like 17th all-time now.
Yeah.
Everything's been shattered. Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Paul Warfield. That was the list.
Right. So
But by the way, if you're a white dude, I'm just going to say it.
you can't be on the top receiver.
You just can't be.
Yeah. I'm totally okay with that. As a former white wide receiver. But here's the thing. I understand the thing of wanting to have it span these decades, right? Like take the best receiver from every decade, blah, blah, blah. Or, whatever the case is. And having it say, well, Lance Allworth was better at his time than so-and-so. But how is Marvin Harrison better than Terrell Owens?
I don't get it.
Like, but like the thing is, how is he? He doesn't have as many yards. He doesn't have as many touchdowns.
Is that true? Is that all true?
It wasn't Terrell like third. Terrell's like up there.
Here's some interesting numbers. Steve Largent and Larry Fitzgerald were all pros once.
Right.
Terrell Owens was an all-pro 5 times. And we're not even talking Marvin Harrison. I mean, it's just, to me, it's wild. I mean, I can pull some of this stuff up, but I just.
And here's the thing: Terrell's a douche. Terrell was a Cowboy. Terrell was an Eagle.
Yeah.
But like, just respect what the dude did. Like, I mean, at what like?
Terrell's third all-time in receiving yards.
That's what I'm saying.
Marvin Harrison's 9th.
That's what I'm saying. All-time receiving yards is who? It's Rice.
It goes Rice, Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
Owens, Moss, Isaac Bruce.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking all time.
So
let's
Rice is in, and Fitzgerald's in, and Moss is in, but the guy that's in between them is not in, and Marvin Harrison is 9th because he played with Peyton Manning
Marvin Harrison
and murdered somebody.
Marvin
That
Harrison,
was a dick to me and my brother in Atlantic City.
he has more receptions. All-time reception leaders: Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, Tony Gonzalez, Jason Witten. Marvin Harrison's 5th, Chris Carter's 6th, Tim Brown 7th, Terrell Owens 8th.
To me, it's not even close. Especially considering the quarterback situations. Terrell Owens played with fucking Romo, McNabb, Jeff Garcia, Fitzpatrick,
And
Carson Palmer.
And let's go to touchdowns. Terrell Owens is 5th all time. We're not just talking wide receivers. Terrell Owens has the 5th amount of touchdowns all time.
Including running backs, you're saying?
Yes. The list goes Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson, Randy Moss is 4th, Terrell Owens is 5th.
It's kind of gross. Why are they doing this to the guy? How much of a did he just fuck every reporter's wife? Was he just like really into like
I don't get it, man. I don't know.
cucking reporters?
It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Like the disrespect again for Terrell Owens. I don't understand, and that's the only conclusion. I agree with you that Terrell Owens banged every single reporter's wife, and then like who votes on the Hall of Fame? Who votes on this stuff?
I have no idea.
But
Some assholes.
But my point is, it stinks when you have something like this because it's now been 100% deemed meaningless, in my opinion. Like if you don't have Terrell Owens as a top 10 receiver, then to me this whole 100 list, Prano, is now meaningless.
Yeah, but it was sort of meaningless anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like who does it mean something to? It only means something to these guys. Like the top 100 ever show on NFL Network will be a fun thing to watch.
Yeah,
But they already did that a couple years ago.
sure.
And by the way, none of these dudes were on it. Allworth and fucking blah 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 blah. Like this, like if you go back, they weren't on there.
Eli Hirsch coming in here, making
Yeah.
a great catch across the middle for 4 yards. Guys, come on. If you played football when it was black and white, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like if they have footage of you catching a pass, you want to see this? You want to see one of these guys? It's on this article. Look at this. This is one of the guys.
Eli Hirsch, one of the best receivers in the game. Also should be applauded for also being an engineer on a steam train before this.
Look at this.
Came to the game on his own steamer ship, which he's the captain of when he's not playing football.
Oh, it's Elroy Hirsch,
Yeah.
nicknamed Crazy Legs for his unique running style. Bill Belichick is on quote saying,
Crazy Legs Hirsch ran weird because he had polio.
Bill Belichick says, never seen anybody run like that. Look at this guy.
Oh, Crazy Legs Hirsch.
Look at him run up the middle. Look at him. By the way, these are his stats. These are Crazy Legs Elroy Hirsch. A 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowl selection, a 1951 NFL champion. During the Korean War, he also was a fighter pilot. He had a career average of he had 387 receptions, 7,029 yards, and 60 touchdowns. Terrell Owens.
But again, the thing is, like, I get that part of it.
Oh, my God.
But, like, explain to me how Terrell Owens isn't better than Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison murdered a dude.
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Canceled. Allegedly.
Yeah.
But he didn't murder the pussy of a reporter's wife, so he's in.
Speaking of murdering, Cowboys are getting murdered right now.
Yeah.
Andy Ruther's Super Bowl favorite from the NFC.
This is kind of working out perfectly. As you know, I hate both of these teams, of course. I'm rooting for ISIS because I think technically if both these teams, all the players on this team die, I think they have to give the Giants the playoff position. So rooting for that. But I am sort of rooting for Eagles win this game, Eagles lose next week to the Giants to get eliminated.
That's what you're rooting for?
Yeah. Just because I love the Eagles fans to be in pain.
Oh, they stopped him.
Yeah. Come on, give me a chance at a fucking backdoor situation.
I'm still vested in this terrible Denver-Detroit game. All right, you have a plane to get, so let's do some NBA and then we'll wrap up the show.
Let's do it.
So the big NBA news is that what is it?
By the way, and we've talked about this. We talked about this earlier in the year, and I think that you would agree as well. You've already probably watched a lot more NBA than you've watched in years past.
I have.
This for as long as we've been doing the show, and as long as I've been an NBA fan in the sort of super modern era of the NBA. The Christmas Day games have become the unofficial start of the NBA season. This year, I feel like the unofficial start of the NBA season was even earlier than Christmas because of so much of the player movement. But I still call Christmas Day. Like, this is when the NBA really hits a new fucking level. And I have been, ever since I went to the Clippers game with Wild last week, I have been just bonering out over the Christmas Day slate. No Knicks this year, but that Clippers-Lakers game in Staples, God, if I were here.
Who's a better team?
Well,
I still think the Clippers have a better, deeper, right, all-around team. Would you agree?
This is what I said on the Clipcast with Chris Wild, which is the Clippers are significantly deeper,
Yes.
in my opinion,
Yes.
than
I
the
agree.
Lakers, and they have a far more well-rounded roster. But I will say this, and to me, honestly, if everybody's healthy, and Kawhi's healthy and Paul George, everybody healthy on both sides, the Clippers are going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
But I will say this, and obviously the trading deadline is still months away. I have no idea on who on the Clippers guards Anthony Davis. I know who can guard Paul George, and I know who can guard Kawhi Leonard, and I know who can guard. And listen, I love Montrez. I think
I was going to say, it's going to be Harrell, right?
But at the same time, like, in some ways, I think Montrezl Harrell is the second most important player on the Clippers. In some ways, I'm like, you could do it without Paul George. If you had Kawhi on that team, you could do it without Paul George. It helps that they have Paul George, but I don't know if you can do it without Montrez.
Yeah.
He is as important to that team, I think, as anybody besides Kawhi. But he's not. He's a good defender. But also, when you put a guy like that on an Anthony Davis, it almost renders him useless on the other side because
offensively,
he's so involved with guarding. I just think they have a major matchup problem with Anthony Davis. And I would like to see, I mean, obviously, that's why I'm botering out over Christmas, because on Christmas, the Lakers and the Clippers have already played once. They'll play 4 times this year, right? So they've already played once. They'll play on Christmas. They'll play 2 other times. Those other 2 games, not as meaningful as this Christmas game, because the whole world will be watching. And every team's going to come out to show out. And that's where I'm interested to see what's Doc's plan for stopping Anthony Davis. It'll be interesting to me.
He's been unstoppable this whole year.
They just don't have – they have Zubac. They don't have like a true – they don't even have depth in terms of being able to just throw a big body after big body at him. They're not one of those teams who just has like a couple 7-footers on the bench. They used to have Boban. There's like if you're the Celtics, let's get Taco out there for fucking 6 fouls. That's going to be annoying.
How many tacos do you think Taco can eat on Taco Tuesday? If I said a Taco Fall, dude, we're going to see how many tacos you can eat on Taco Tuesday.
How many tacos could Taco Fall if Taco Fall could fall tacos?
Ooh.
Is that what you're saying?
I like that.
All the tacos? A taco would fall all the tacos he could fall if a taco could fall tacos.
If a taco goes into the forest and eats unlimited tacos on Taco Tuesday from Taco Bell and he falls, does it make a sound?
Yes, because he's 7'9". It makes a sound that sounds like this.
There's got to be a restaurant out there called Taco Tuesday, right?
There should be a restaurant called Taco Fall.
Yeah.
Taco Falls. It's just a waterfall of tacos.
Ooh, you got me there. There should be a place in an area that you shouldn't think should be called Taco Falls. Like there should be a town in Iowa.
In Ohio, get rid of Cuyahoga Falls. Who needs Cuyahoga Falls anymore? Make it Taco Falls.
Or just get rid of Sandusky, Ohio. That name's been tarnished. I always feel bad for people who live in Sandusky.
Yeah. You got to feel bad. Who do you feel worse for, Sandusky, Ohio residents, or Ass Rape, Iowa residents?
Sandusky.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, he ruined it. So the NBA, and we've discussed this. I know Tug and I actually discussed this on an episode. They're now moving further in this development of this in-season tournament.
I love the in-season tournament talk.
So it's a $1 million per player purse. By the way, before we get into the details, to me that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What is $1 million for a player?
Well, for some of the guys,
Joe, not that many.
Not true. Not true. Think about, like, if you're not in the rotation on a team. Honestly, if you're not in the starting lineup on a team, $1 million is probably a lot for you.
What do you? Well, let's look up and somebody, and he's obviously significantly in the rotation. What do you think Alex Caruso for the Lakers makes?
I think he makes.
I know he re-signed
$900,000 a year.
I bet you he makes at least $1 million. And he signed a 2-year contract in July for $5.5 million. Okay,
Yeah.
so it would matter to him.
Yeah. It'll essentially. It's a 50% bonus on his contract
If his team won.
Yeah.
So the average NBA player makes about $9 million a year.
Right. The average. But that average is super skewed.
Yeah. So basically
for every guy on the end of the bench, LeBron James balances 25 of them.
So this is what it would entail. The NBA wants an in-season tournament that begins with pool play as part of the regular season schedule before the teams with the best records advance to the 8-game single elimination tournament that would culminate in mid-December.
Why the fuck not?
Well, the concerns are this. Star players, according to this ESPN article from Woj, star players might prefer the 5-day scheduling break that will come with not qualifying for the tournament rather than competing for the financial reward of a winner-take-all event that requires a quarterfinal, semifinal, and title.
Star players on what? The top 4 teams in the league? Because otherwise, there's a chance that you get bumped out, right? Because one of these tournament winners could sneak into the playoffs because of it.
And the hopes are that this would be completed, the deal to start doing this by the 21-22 season, which is the 75th anniversary.
Now,
of the
the
NBA.
thing I didn't understand was, and when Tugget sent it to me, the reseeding of the final 4 teams. I don't like getting rid of the Eastern and Western Conference championships.
I agree. So that's also part of the discussion. And this is what the WNBA does, is that they would say, once the playoffs hit, we reseed, and your conference doesn't matter. And the top 4 teams are then reseeded based on regular season record. I agree. I don't like that. I think you have to keep the conferences.
Yeah, I think so too, because it gets into the whole problem, in my opinion, of scheduling. Oh, a team that didn't have to play the Western Conference all year and has a better record now gets to, or a worse record, like now gets to move around. Like I just don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the in-season tournament I don't mind as much, but I don't like reseeding.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Because even that, I assume the mindset is they want to get people more interested in the regular season.
Yeah, they want more in-season ratings, and they just want more like wildness in terms of the games that don't matter. Because again, like I think a lot of NBA fans or borderline NBA fans, they watch the Christmas Day games, and then they're out for a while, and then they start toward the end of the season again, and then a lot of people don't care about the first couple rounds of the playoffs, and everybody's back in for the conference finals and the finals.
Yeah. Look, I'm not.
And like, I feel like there's more fans of NBA free agency than there are of NBA regular season games.
There are. Free agency's lit, son.
So just add something else. People are going to – Christmas Day ratings are going to crush, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not against the in-season tournament. I don't want to see reseeded, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I know you got a fight to catch.
I got to fight to get through the airport to catch.
Yeah, I just saw something on the news during the halftime of this Cowboys game. It said LAX traffic. I think you and I agree, right? Asking somebody to take you to the airport is fucking juvenile.
Yeah, I mean,
What's the rules on that at this point?
I think it also depends on like
Who it is?
who you're asking. What like I would never ask somebody to take me to the airport right now.
Yeah.
It's the like
You're basically giving the middle finger to your friend.
yeah, but also like
It's not a favor. You agree? A favor is, can I borrow your car?
right, and also like it's all the time of day and like what that person has going on. Like for example, I knew when I asked you to take me to the airport down in Long Beach before I went to Tahoe last time, you'd be back in LA before I was through fucking the gates. But to ask somebody to take you to LAX on a Sunday night or on a holiday or on a Friday evening to pick you up from the airport, stop it.
It's rude.
Yeah.
Just take an Uber or Lyft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the Uber Lyft situation at LAX is kind of a nightmare too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. I don't know if they can. I think they can still drop you off at the gate, right?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's now a mess. Picking up is different.
Yeah.
It's a little different. First world problems.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Is that the show?
Let's finish up watching these games. It looks like I'm feeling pretty good about this Denver cover.
Yeah, that one. What just happened? Did they turn it over on downs?
Turn it over on downs.
Son of a bitch.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that, and obviously it's not looking good in the Cowboys game.
So if these play out, that's our games for the week.
You did great.
6-2.
6-2. So you pick up 4 games. So that massive lead that I had
Down to 2.
heading into the final week. And I still got to figure out what I'm going to do, but there's a good chance, guys, I'm going to have Tug on for next episode, and we might do a best of for our last episode of the year. But the truth is, I don't want to bring my podcast equipment back to Cincinnati, or maybe you'll do the December 30th one.
Yeah, because if you leave the equipment here, I'll be back here.
Yeah. So the truth is, I don't feel like bringing the podcast equipment back home. Leave it in 2019. Because 2020 is going to be lit, son.
I'll just do a Dent style solo podcast on December 30th. All right.
You should.
Talk about Eli Manning for 90 minutes.
Don't do that. That might actually cause people to kill themselves. All right, this game's up. Oh, did he fumble?
Oh, come on.
He didn't even pick the ball up on the Lions.
No, I think he knew he was down.
He was down. All right, guys, that's the show.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah.
We're done saying Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, which I believe starts tonight.
And Kwanzaa starts the 26th.
Okay, and Kwanzaa.
You can say that.
You can. You just can't say Merry Christmas.
I don't know anymore.
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we a couple more episodes before the end of the year. I don't want to say Happy New Year yet.
Yeah, we'll figure out. I'll figure out what we do with those episodes.
And shout out to Kyle Aronofsky, who turned my apartment into a scene from I don't know what's the fucking Christian Bale murderer movie?
American Psycho.
American Psycho. It's just blood splatter all over my apartment. The dirty sports dirtball Airbnb. I didn't know you could come and for a crisp $100 bill murder a hooker in my bathroom, but I'll have to worry about cleaning that up when I get back.
That's what it was. A crisp $100 bill to murder somebody in your place.
Yeah. Now I've got to deal with the investigation that comes with that. But I don't know. Follow us, Andy, all the places.
Yeah. Instagram, Twitter, at The Dirty Sports, at Andy Ruther, at Joe Prano, at Fix Your Life. You guys know what to do. Enjoy the holidays.
JoePrano.com for shows. Tahoe, Alaska, Aspen, Palm Springs, all those in the works for next year. Go to JoePrano.com for shows. Happy holidays, everybody.
Perfect. Yeah, guys. Thanks for
and Eli bless us, everyone.
Oh, unreal. Thanks for the support. Again, I'll be back probably with Tug the day after Christmas, but we're going to record that early. So have a great holidays, have a great Christmas, a great Hanukkah, a great Kwanzaa, a great what does the devil celebrate? Does the devil celebrate anything? We can't forget the people who worship the devil.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to Google that.
Lucifer Fest? Happy Lucifer Fest? I bet it's not Lucifer Fest.
Isn't there an upside down Christmas tree situation? Like, isn't there like basically it's just like all underworld shit? Like Santa comes up from the sewers, the Christmas tree's hung from the ceiling.
Oh, for real?
I think so. Who knows?
I didn't know about that. All right, guys. Thanks for the support. And most importantly, stay dirty.